This is the time Bill Burr roasted Kevin Hart.
Today's guest is a true friend, a real brother.
Yeah,
Ladies and
you've called
gentlemen.
me since 2003. Kevin Hart was somebody that I thought I was friends with, but I realized that he just needed a spot at Dangerfields.
With Kevin Hart recently being name-dropped by Cat Williams as a Hollywood industry plant, his name has been in the news a lot lately. When talking about how Kevin Hart has changed over the years, a lot of people commonly bring up the time when Bill Burr talked with Kevin Hart and how Bill started roasting him repeatedly for being a Hollywood big shot on his own show, and how he hadn't heard from him in a while since he became famous. Now, I don't think Bill was actually being rude to Kevin here, and that it was definitely good-natured ribbing, but we will dive into the specifics of that in just a bit, because even if it wasn't good fun, it definitely came from a sincere place. Additionally, Patrice O'Neal also had a similar moment where he ribbed Kevin in the past for being too Hollywood, and on top of all of that, Cat Williams calling him out on Club Shay Shay got a lot more people talking about Kevin Hart and how he sold his soul for fame and fortune in Hollywood. If you'd like to know more about the time Bill Burr and other comedians roasted Kevin Hart playfully, then you've come to the right place. I will be discussing all of this in detail for today's video. To begin with, Kevin Hart has a podcast called Comedy Gold Mines that is available on SiriusXM to listen to, and on February 11th, 2021, he had on comedian Bill Burr. This episode took place just a couple months after Bill Burr's appearance and monologue on Saturday Night Live. They were set to talk about SNL and their responses to the ever-changing environment surrounding the COVID-19 lockdowns. However, Bill Burr decided to take these lukewarm talking points and instead do what he does best and playfully jab at the person interviewing him. I'll show you how this podcast starts because Bill Burr is on fire.
Today's guest is a true friend, a real brother.
Yeah,
Ladies and
you've called
gentlemen.
me since 2003.
You shut up, Bill. People don't know that. This is Bill Burr, ladies and gentlemen.
Hey, I'm Bill Burr. Now, Kevin Hart was somebody that I thought I was friends with, but I realized quickly that he just needed a spot at Dangerfields. And then he booked a pilot, and I don't think I talked to him again. I had like kids, and I didn't hear from you.
Bill Burr, ladies and gentlemen. We're getting to the mind of Bill Burr.
That was late for his own podcast.
So immediately Bill goes on the offensive and calls out Kevin for not staying in contact with him after acquiring fame. Now obviously when people get busier and busier, it's much harder to stay in contact with old friends, but I also see where Bill's coming from because Kevin was like, Bill is a real brother, but despite that, he hasn't been in contact with him until after he went on Saturday Night Live. Now obviously I feel like this roast is in good spirits, but that doesn't mean there's not a slice of truth to the angle Bill Burr takes. Bill continues to lay into Kevin a little bit, and you could tell Kevin's just trying to move forward, and Bill's just not letting him get away so easily.
This is what's mind-blowing that people are going to love. Bill Burr.
You have your own name on your fucking sweatshirt?
Well, outside of that, I mean,
When are
I
you
don't
going
know
to
why
stop
you don't.
branding, Kev? We know who you are.
Just in case you didn't, Bill, I wore a shirt to remind you. What's the big fucking deal, man? All right, it's
Part
just
of
a
the
shirt.
hoodie with Kevin Hart. I hand out hoodies to homeless people because I care about downtown LA. Go see Jumanji Part 19. The studio system has ruined you.
Bill is not angry, first of all, to our listeners. Bill is not an angry person.
So even though I genuinely believe that Bill doesn't mean any harm with these little jabs and roasts, it does seem like Kevin gets a little bit worked up and isn't quite matching Bill's energy and playful attitude. It seems like Kevin keeps trying to move past this and that he doesn't want to even address the points that Bill is making, but that could just be the autism talking. I'm not 100% sure. Then Bill assures Kevin he's just talking shit, but then continues to lay into Kevin playfully, and it's pretty funny because when Kevin asks Bill about his movie The King of Staten Island, he just starts listing off Kevin Hart movies instead.
He's a father now. Congrats on that, Bill, by the
I
way.
got 2 kids. I had another one. I was going to call you, but I knew you wouldn't return the call.
No.
I don't think my last movie did well enough to have you send over your little Heart of the City fruit basket, you piece of shit.
Talking about Staten Island movie. What's the name? With Pete Davidson. What's the title of it, Bill?
I don't know. It was called Jumanji Part...
Wasn't called Jumanji. That's my movie. What
Oh,
the
sorry.
was it called, man?
Get Hard.
Wasn't that's another one of my movies, Bill?
Wait, I get
The
it.
King
I
of
get it.
Staten
Give me a
Island?
sec. Soul Plane with
Off. Those are my movies,
United
Bill.
Airlines.
However, after that, they just talk about the pilot they shot together in their early comedy careers that wasn't picked up, and some of their other acting roles. Furthermore, I found it interesting that Bill Burr busted Kevin Hart's balls a little bit about being basically like the face of Hollywood as a comedian, and then just a few years later we got this brazen interview with Cat Williams where he talks about Kevin Hart being an industry plant. If you haven't seen what Cat says about Kevin, I'll bring you up to speed really quickly and show you the clip here.
He already had his deals when he got here. Have we heard of a comedian that came to LA, and in his first year in LA, he had his own sitcom on network television and had his own movie called Soul Plane that he was leading? No, we've never heard of that before that person or since that person. What do you think a plant is?
So Kat goes out and calls Kevin a plant and also claims that no one in Hollywood recalls ever going out to a sold-out Kevin Hart show, which sounds absolutely crazy to me, but I wasn't there, so obviously there's no way for me to know for sure. I bring this up in addition to the Bill Burr interview because this makes some people believe that Kevin Hart is fake or is sold out. I won't say whether I think he is or not, but I'll try my best to provide some context as to why people may believe this, and then allow you, the viewer, to make your own decision. Another decision you should make is the decision to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on post notifications down below if you're finding value in the content you're watching. I appreciate you guys watching the video. Anyway, the term industry plant reminds me of the Hollywood conspiracy of black men being demoralized by being told to wear a dress at some point in their careers. I'm going off on a bit of a tangent here, but Dave Chappelle talked about this idea on Oprah's show a while back. I'll show you the clip here.
Like when I connect dots that maybe shouldn't be connected, I don't know. But certain dots, like when I see that they put every black man in the movies in a dress at some point in their career, I'll be connecting them down like, wow, all these brothers gotta wear a dress.
This interview with Dave Chappelle sparked a lot of discourse on the nature of Hollywood, fame, fortune, and how some people believe that some of these actors and comedians sell their souls for all of these things. Then, given the popularity of this topic, Kevin was asked about it in an interview, and he basically said he wouldn't want to wear a dress.
Is that something that, you wouldn't do, for
I definitely haven't ran into to put on the dress. I mean, you have to have boundaries. You have to have limits that you refuse to cross. For me, I know what they are. They've yet to been challenged, so,
However, he would proceed to do an SNL sketch where he did wear a dress just a year or so later. He then made a tweet about this saying it was his choice to wear a dress and that there's no deeper meaning behind it. He then did this interview afterwards where he talks about wearing a dress, and it's a little bit of a strange interview. There's even some comments about this on the video, like the top comment that says, Kevin is indirectly admitting that they made him wear a dress, which I don't know if I believe that, but it definitely just seems like a little bit of a strange interview.
No, you know what? I was actually one of those comedians that said, no, I wouldn't wear a dress. There's no way I would wear a dress. And then when proposed with the opportunity of what I felt was funny, I said, oh, that's funny, I'm gonna do it. Oh, Kwanzaa is relevant. Yeah, that's funny. She's small. I can do the whole thing. It'll be funny.
Anyway, when I was researching this, I found out that Cat Williams did an interview with Black Tree TV about this question, and Cat gives a bit of a similar answer to that he gave on Club Shay Shay, but it's from a much more calm and collected perspective. He talks about how the dress-wearing thing is common in Hollywood and proceeds to name-drop the Illuminati.
dresses? Have you ran into that, and what do you think about that whole Illuminati theory that people put out there about that?
So everybody can't do everything. So, you know, some of us make choices. I think it's not a biggest choice for others. I'm saying at the end of the day, Kevin doesn't have to worry about what people are going to say about him wearing a dress because of the long line of dress-wearing people before him. Some of us are against the Illuminati, and we are against the Illuminati at our own detriment. When people are against the Illuminati, then they get punched in the face all the time. The press hates them, and nobody likes them.
So Kat basically takes a polite approach to answering questions, but does in some way confirm that to get pushed in the Hollywood limelight, you have to put some skin in the game. What that skin is, you and I, the common person, may never truly know. Since the entire premise of this video was the time Bill Burr roasted Kevin Hart, and we've gone down this rabbit hole about Kevin Hart being the face of Hollywood, I think I'll give you guys a bonus interview of another time Kevin got roasted by the late great Patrice O'Neal. This is one of my favorite interviews with Patrice ever, and the tone is very similar to what we got with Bill Burr's interview on Kevin Hart's show. Patrice calls into the Opie and Anthony radio show while Kevin Hart is on, and then this proceeds to take place.
Before Kevin stopped talking to me. 5 years ago.
I wonder why he wouldn't want to talk to you.
We haven't talked in about 5 years, and then I think that was the last time we talked like jerk talk. No, we talked after that.
We talked after that. I've seen you after that.
This is when these are stories before Kev stopped running the other way. He see me coming. His career was taking off. Now, I don't mind that. I don't mind that because his career is important. But when I see you and I come walking towards you and he sees white people near him, he runs. He doesn't stand anymore in front of white people.
So Patrice immediately gets into talking about how Kevin was going Hollywood after hearing about the old stories. The white people near him comment made me laugh my ass off, and then Patrice proceeds to go after Kevin a little more, and you'll notice what he says sounds very similar to the tone that Bill Burr carried in his interview. Listen to this.
This is how I know Kevin's famous. Because Jim Norton is giving him the famous laugh. And Kev 5 years ago was just a little nigger. And he was a niglet. And this nigga, I hear a story how famous Kev is. This is how famous Kev is, and I didn't know that. Because I don't have his number anymore.
Despite the fact I think Patrice was being playful similar to Bill, it still serves as a testament to show that not only are Bill Burr and Patrice both from the same school of thought, but this kind of roasting alongside Cat Williams blowing the whistle on Kevin's status in Hollywood makes some people look at Kevin very differently. However, I do genuinely think Bill and Patrice are proud of Kevin and his success and that they were just busting his balls, but some people think that they might have had some deeper undertones to what they were saying. I'd love to see what you guys think about this in the comments down below. Maybe I just have a touch of the tism, but I'd love to hear your thoughts, and I'd love to hear what comedy stories you'd like to see me cover in the future. All in all, this was the time Bill Burr roasted Kevin Hart. Hey everybody, thank you so much for watching the video all the way to the end. I really appreciate it. If you want to help the channel out, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on post notifications down below, because that's a free way to support the channel, and you're helping the community grow brick by brick, one subscriber at a time, every time one of you guys subscribes. I really want the YouTube family to hit 100,000 subscribers this year, and I think we could do that, so please help me out by subscribing to the channel right now. If you want to support the channel further, you can check out my Patreon page down below, where you get some exclusive benefits, like you get to see recent sets I did at comedy clubs, you get to see every video early before it comes out, you get shout outs every single video, and you also get to play a direct leading hand in the direction my channel takes. Real quick, I want to give a shout out to Ethan, Jason Murray, Crossblocker, Thomas Gill, Karsten, and also Eduardo Ramos, Celia Ellis, Darren Lester. I appreciate you guys so much for subscribing to the Patreon. Thank you. But yeah, I hope you guys loved the video. Make sure you take care of yourselves, your friends, your families, and your loved ones. I love you, and I will see you in the next video. Take care.